Hello everyone, welcome to the final PowerHour of the week. It's been a long time coming. I'm looking forward to taking a break next week, and we'll bring you Business Central 1 at the end of the week after next. I'm going to wait until 3 minutes past again. Obviously this session is being recorded, so we will be able to watch it back, and we'll load it to our SharePoint site at the start of next week. Today we're going to be talking through NAV and the move to Business Central and how that looks, and what's new in Business Central. So there's a bit for sort of all the clients that we've got. And again, we're going to be waiting until 3 minutes past, so I'm going to put myself on mute again. And then we'll crack in with the first half of the session, which is about NAV and how we can upgrade to Business Central and what the steps could be and what they look like and what's new. So I'm going to crack on. So this might come as a bit of a shock to you, or it might be completely old news depending on how tuned into tech current affairs and accountancy tech current affairs, or just generally how often you read my emails. But Microsoft have stopped selling NAV now. So how did we get to the point where they've stopped selling it? It all started with the release of the new superior version of NAV back in April 2018, which is, before my time at Cooper Parry. So I only know NAV and rebranded Dynamics 365 Business Central. It's the next generation of software, and it was designed to perform all the duties of NAV, while also serving up its user abundance of new functionalities, which are all packed into its new sleek interface. Until April 18, the popularity of NAV had been kind of unrivaled since it first launched in 2005. There's been 200,000 businesses across the globe, and there's 3 million NAV users, which is a lot of licenses for Microsoft. So Microsoft aren't going to leave their faithful customers high and dry. They've put into place what they've put into place to ensure existing users have access to mainstream support and updates for another few years. But even those who've passed that cutoff point, we can plan ahead and get your software into a place where we can upgrade or re-implement the ERP system, and we're not going to let you fend for yourselves. So when I was making the PowerPoint and designing this session, I sat back and thought, what has changed over my life in the last 11 years? And the best kind of comparison I could make was my iPhone. Now, I'm a bit of an Apple nut. I've always liked Apple products. I like the way that they operate, and I like being up to date on their tech. So watching that develop over the last 11 years has been, fairly fun. I've had all of these phones. So from the iPhone 3GS to the iPhone XS, I've had them all. Now, about a year ago, I dropped my iPhone X and I dropped all the way back down to an iPhone 5. Now, that's a 5-year product gap. When you think about it, that's not that long. But the difference in the actual operating systems on those phones is huge. So let's bring that back to NAV. If you were to upgrade a NAV system from NAV 2013 to NAV now, it's huge. It's a massive product gap, and there's so much more that's been put into Business Central and put into newer versions of NAV that we haven't yet reached. So when you move up through each version, the jump is small, but that big jump is tough, and that's where we come in, and we can help you navigate that jump. There's 2 ways we can get you to the software, and that's move you up to Business Central, and that's a data upgrade or a re-implementation. A re-implementation is a complete rewrite of everything, and a data upgrade brings all your data, as it says on the tin, up to the newest version. What Microsoft have done is they've really lengthened their support life cycles. So they've let you have your product for a long time without forcing you change. Whereas Apple have, really well documented, forced that change on you. So you sit there and your phone just starts freezing and bugging out. NAV hasn't done that, and it won't do that. Even if you pass that support end date, you just won't be eligible to receive support from Microsoft. So where does Business Central now sit inside of Microsoft? It's a Dynamics 365 product. So it's a product set which sits alongside CRM and others. It also is completely combined by the Microsoft Azure dataset, which is a premier enterprise cloud offering global, trusted, and a hybrid secure platform for businesses. Azure helps you gain unmatched security, which Microsoft invests more than £1 billion a year and employs more than 3,500 security experts to protect your information. So your data is more secure in a Microsoft data center than in your company server room. Microsoft 365 also adds the extensive productivity tools of Excel, Outlook, and SharePoint that I'll come into later on when we look at the new tools. But they help you work smarter, faster, and more effectively. It connects the data using a set of turnkey solutions positioned to unlock the potential for any business. And Microsoft's recent acquisition of LinkedIn also allows deeper customer awareness and engagement. This doesn't come into Business Central, but it does come into CRM, which can be interlinked. So let's dive and look into Business Central in a bit more detail. Business Central is the next generation of intelligent business applications in the cloud. It not only includes accounting and financial management capabilities, but also sales, service, project management, and supply chain management, inventory and operations as well. What makes Dynamics 365 unique is that it harnesses the power of one Microsoft. It brings together the 2 worlds of business processes, personal productivity, with surfacing familiar tools of Excel and Word within the context of business process. This significantly increases productivity and decreases content switching. So you don't have to move between Excel and your ERP. It also brings in Power BI and Cortana, which are natively embedded into Dynamics 365 Business Central. It gives you predictive insights, prescriptive advice, and actionable next steps. Additionally, Azure brings the device data to enable preemptive action in selective business functions. Oh, not sure what happened there. I apologize. Businesses can also adapt and innovate in real time with common data model, an extensible business application platform, including Power Apps, Flow, and Microsoft and Power BI embedded, as I just mentioned. They've also introduced an app store, so business users can easily find and evaluate line of business, software as a solution applications from Microsoft and other partners across Dynamics 365, Office 365, and the Azure platform. So let's take a look at what's new in Business Central. We can run a demo for you if you want any more detail behind any of these points, but let's take a dive. So Microsoft have changed the way they do things. They've rewritten the rules, restructured the code base, which now enables Microsoft to control all of the core code, giving our developers hook points when more code needs to be added. So that's pretty techy. And that's a lot of tech talk. So what does that mean for you as a consumer? So let's go back to the iPhone model. You don't decide when you get a software update. You put your phone down overnight, you wake up the next morning and wow, there's something new on your phone. Or there's an update, like the new COVID update on the iPhone, which allows you to send face recognition when you've got a mask on. Microsoft have followed this approach for Business Central, where there's monthly bug fixes, major functionality releases twice a year that Mark will cover later. And this keeps it in an evergreen environment, where we're seeing the introduction of group VAT filing in the October release later this year. So extensions and apps have never been easier to access. All of these can be installed from app stores, which I previously mentioned, which is like the Apple App Store. So here's some examples of the apps that we can look to. It adds products to your standard Business Central tenant, and it gives you additional functionality, some of which we've covered this week. You've got ZetaDocs, which we spoke to yesterday, Jet Reports and Continua as well. And there's others, Tasklet Factory, which is a mobile web warehousing system, and Clever Dynamics, which do a lot of products. It's got the same familiar modules. So as you can see here, it's still got the fields, the reports and pages, and the functions that you had previously. However, it does have some excellent additions. It's got a really user-friendly interface while housing the overwhelming familiarity. So when you upgrade, that's always comfortable. It's just like kind of when you buy a car. We won't retrain you how to drive. We just give you an intro into what's new in your shiny, new top-of-the-range ERP. It's also embedded in the Office 365 Active Directory. So you have one set of credentials to log in. You've got all the security benefits added in the 365 environment, like your multi-factor authentication. It also gives you live link reporting. So you can produce live reports with live links back to Business Central in Excel with no need to create the same report week after week. Contact Insights is another new piece that's been brought in. This allows you to add, it's an add-in for Outlook and provides unique features to help automating of your vendor and customer relationships. The edit in Excel function is one of my favorite new functions in Business Central. You can use Excel to manage your data and create journals. And you can use all your standard Excel tools to quickly change your data, your formulas, drag and copy, find and replace. This is perfect for updating customer records, stock prices, or importing finance data from other systems, like a payroll journal. If there's any concerns being able to update your data in Excel, this feature can be turned off. And it also requires the permission to actually edit the table in the first place. You can't just do that. Business Central, as I mentioned previously, automatically connects with Outlook. So you can update your vendor and customer records. You can view statistics or resolve account queries. You can raise, post, and send purchase and sales documents, all from your Outlook. You can send and respond to approval workflows, store email attachments against documents and subsequent entries, which creates a paperless environment and also eases the pain during an audit of finding those docs. You do need an Office 365 and a Business Central license to have access to this. And you do need to run a small wizard to get this working, but no further maintenance is needed for that add-in thereafter. This works in both the desktop app for your Outlook and the web client app. Power Platform integration is a new massive thing. Microsoft Flow means you can automate data transfers across. You can put in flows. Power BI allows you to report inside of Business Central with key management information. And Power Apps allow you to bring in things that you do manually into Business Central. Out of the box, Business Central has a native integration with Dynamics 365 Sales. Means you can completely automate all of your contacts, your accounts, your products, and your price lists in Sales, and that data is automatically pulled through to Business Central. You can also use custom built-in APIs. So if you have other systems that you use, you can, like a Clockify, that will bring the data into Business Central through an API. Cortana is great. It builds the AI across all their products to save you a bit of time and effort in analyzing trends and monitoring anomalies in your business. They do this, with all their products, but Business Central is one, and there's some examples there on the screen where you can forecast sales and inventory over a period. You can predict late payments and recognize the email address that has sent you the document so that it posts it to that contact on Business Central. So that's all the bits and bobs of actual NAV and what's changed and what's new in Business Central. So let's look at the areas that you can move and the ways that we can help you with this. So option one is just migrate to all cloud Business Central. You'll be able to increase the return you're getting from your Microsoft investment and control your costs completely differently, where there's no BREP, renewal payment. It improves your IT team's productivity with not having to manage other sign-ons, with a whole other benefits. Now, we're here to make that transition for you as smooth as possible, and we've got multiple tools and resources available to help you, and we'll help you through that entire process. Option two is, and we'll talk about all three of these in a bit more detail in a moment, but option two is upgrade to Business Central on-prem, which keeps you current and it keeps you on a live system, but without the option of getting some of the limited benefits of cloud. And then the final option is, you can stay on NAV. Your support might run out with Microsoft, but we'll keep supporting you. We'll have to charge you for the break fixes that may happen and the bugs that come in, but we're more than happy to keep supporting you through that journey. So let's look at option one in a bit more detail. So migrating to Business Central Cloud gives you the full functionality of Microsoft Service, enabling your company's digital transformation throughout. With Dynamics 365 Business Central, you can grow beyond the limits of your standard basic accounting software or NAV that you've currently got. It's an all-in-one business management solution that's easy to use and easy to adapt, helping you connect your business and make smarter decisions. It automatically pulls systems and processes together to help you manage financials, sales, service, and operations. You can connect with third-party applications like payroll, banking, CRM, and industry-specific systems. Sorry. The managed access to confidential data keeps your information secure. And you can customize and extend and build all of the apps that you need to make this a fully managed system. The second option is we do understand that all businesses aren't ready to migrate to the cloud, and they're not willing to take on that full jump. So Microsoft is offering an option to stay on-prem while getting limited benefits of the cloud when you upgrade to D365 Business Central on-premise. It's all browser-based now, so there's no more RDPing onto servers. There's no more wasting time with that. All you need is a reliable internet connection. You can deploy the service locally to your own choice of hardware, while also having replicated tenant in the cloud to be able to enable cloud-powered solutions such as Power BI, Power Apps, and Microsoft Flow, and the machine learning capabilities to help them run. There is a significant downfall in this product in the fact that Microsoft stopped supporting it after 18 months. So you'll need to upgrade to keep yourselves current, whereas you don't have to do that with the pure cloud version. There's obviously testing and costs required with the development to manage this, and server costs are also a factor. So you have to have an Azure server or a server on-prem. And then the third option is, it's okay if you're not ready to make any investments in upgrading your NAV. You must keep renewing your BREP to get to your continued benefit from the investments you've made in your NAV system. And we're here to make you make the right decision and help you make that right decision. So to conclude with 4 key points. 1, you'll stop getting the support you need. So not to sound dramatic, but even the shiniest of Dynamics NAV versions reach the end of their lifetime sooner or later. Now that Microsoft are no longer actively selling the solution to new customers, as a rule of thumb, your NAV is guaranteed 5 years of mainstream support. You have 5 more years of extended support, but that's only security before your solution becomes completely unsupported. So you might be thinking there's no need to panic if you're on a NAV 2018 version, but over the next few years, you'll still receive support from your partner, us. You can cross the upgrade bridge when you get to it. However, we do advise against giving in to the denial and recommend facing the facts instead. Support for Dynamics 365 NAV will not be around forever. So the sooner you start preparing for the inevitable, the easier the transition will be. 2, there's better things out there. So why settle with the functionalities that NAV has to offer when you can switch to the cloud and enjoy an abundance of new features? It's marketed as an all-in-one business solution. Business Central offers companies greater flexibility than ever before, allowing them to adapt the software to their individual needs. Think finance, operations, project management, and sales all under one roof. Isn't that every SME's dream? 3, it literally pays to upgrade. In the case all new shiny features are not seductive enough, Microsoft are sweetening the deal with a 40% discount on upgrade to Business Central licenses. So those who realize they can do better on upgrade before the end of June 21. That's also been updated this year. So we have an offer of 60% off if you pay the amount that you currently pay in BREP for the next 3 years. So believe us when we say now is the prime time to boost your business management toolkit with a brand new ERP solution. And then number 4, sometimes it's actually good to cut ties with the bigger data that weighs you down. Let's face it, you're going to need to upgrade your software eventually, and no one sticks on the same software. So why delay the inevitable, as I said before? Instead, turn to Dynamics 365 as an opportunity to review all the functionality that you currently have and decide what features you want to continue using moving forward. They call it updating, but we also see it as decluttering. I hope that's been fairly insightful for you all. That's me done for today, and I'm going to hand you over to Mark, who's going to walk you through what's new in Business Central for 2020. Thank you.
Thank you, Elliot. That was brilliant. I hope you can all hear me. I'll just share my screen. I hope you guys can all see that. So yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's keeping safe and well, and hopefully edging back to some sort of normality, whatever that might be. Just a bit of a shame about the weather. However, as I say that now, it looks like the sun's coming out. I'm Mark Coyne, Client Success Manager over at Cooper Parry, working alongside Elliot, who's put on this fantastic week of demonstrations. As Elliot said, this is the last of the PowerHour sessions. Hopefully you haven't missed any of them. If you have, they're all recorded, so we can give you them at a later date. I'm going to show you some of the latest features in the 2020 Wave 1 release. I'm aware that some of you aren't on Business Central yet, but hopefully this will give you a taster of what is possible. Before jumping into what's new in 2020, I first want to take some time to reflect on how Business Central has evolved since its release only 2 years ago. I know Elliot's only just gone over this. I just want to have a quick recap. Microsoft has been a market leader in client software for decades, since releasing the Microsoft Office suite containing Word, Excel and PowerPoint back in 1988. Over the years, the offerings in the suite has grown to include Outlook, SharePoint and Teams. Yet even with all this market dominance with these products, Microsoft has still struggled to get a foothold in the ERP market. Loyal Microsoft customers would instead choose rivals such as Sage and QuickBooks over its own solution, NAV. One of the main reasons for this was the lack of connectivity and cohesion between its popular Office suite and NAV. So to address this, Microsoft jumped into the cloud in April 2018, releasing Business Central, which has well and truly put the ERP into the Microsoft stack. Business Central is always evolving. Throughout the 6 months, through the 6-month cumulative updates, and I am today going to talk to you about the 2020 Wave 1 update, released back in April 2020. So just quickly before I get started, this is how I'm going to present this session. We're going to go through the enhanced productivity features, the application enhancements, and the service and development fundamentals. 1 and 2 are, you may say, minor tweaks and sort of user-friendly enhancements, whereas the more techy bits come later on. So the first enhancement to productivity I want to show you is the assisted setup, which is now accessible through the cog in the top right of Business Central. The new and improved assisted setup page has been designed to be much more user-friendly, allowing all users, regardless of IT abilities, to complete the initial setup of Business Central. Each component of the setup is split into easy-to-follow categories. Once a selection is complete, a tick is populated in the column, making it easy to keep an eye on progress. If a certain area of the system is proving a little tricky, Business Central now has inbuilt help and video links filled with information to help with the process. Again, everything is designed to make your life easier. Now on to some quick wins. These small tweaks may not seem like a major functionality change, but as an accountant myself, or former accountant should I say, anything that streamlines the bookkeeping process is a major improvement, and I'm sure you can relate to that. The first improvement is the F2 functionality. Microsoft have copied, or stolen if you will, a brilliant feature from Excel that allows the toggling between selecting the whole cell and placing the cursor at the end of the cell by hitting the F2 key. This allows users to quickly add to a value or replace a portion of a cell. The second time saver is the tab key setup. Now, when the user hits the tab, the focus is shifted to the next editable field, skipping any non-essential fields. Again, it may not be the biggest change, but it will allow a slicker bookkeeping experience. Again, the features in this release may not seem like massive leaps forward, but the small adjustments all add up to big improvements. The improved data exploration functionality allows for a complete mouse-free experience. In this case, navigating across cells with the arrows keys. One of the most frustrating elements I found whilst doing bookkeeping was taking myself away from the keyboard by having to click a cell with a mouse. It disrupts the process and naturally breaks up your flow and rhythm. The arrow keys now allow users to toggle between any editable cell, moving right, left, as well as up and down. Furthermore to this, the home button and the end button now also come into play. If the cursor is placed in the cell and you press the start button, it will go to the start and the end button will take you to the end of the cell. If the cursor isn't selected and you click the home button, it will take you to the first editable cell in the screen. Likewise, if you press the end button, it will take you to the last editable cell in the screen. Again, Microsoft has listened to its clients and made both these small tweaks to enhance the bookkeeping approach. Now, I may have said previously that the release of Microsoft, the Wave 1 release, may be small changes, but this one is a real big game changer. The screen size has been extended in version 16, as you can see from my decrease in red boxes. I, along with many others, hated scrolling at the bottom with the scroll bar when navigating multiple columns, and Microsoft listened. The screen is actually 15% wider and 5% taller, again adding to the overall ease of use. Sticking in the customer ledger entry screen, Microsoft has increased the ability to navigate via links, enabling the user to open related cards from a list. As you can see, the numbers in the version 16 are now linked, allowing navigation via the second screen, or PEEKABOO screen if you will. This feature isn't exclusive to the customer ledger entries, it's applicable to any related card that contains a list. Finding your way home. The URL is now automatically updated as you navigate through Business Central and will include your current list view, the filters you have applied, and the current selected row you are in. This wasn't the case previously, as the URL link would just drop you back into the main screen of Business Central. This is great for adding a deep link to your browser favorites, sharing a link with a colleague or support team, or just picking up from where you left off previously if you were ever timed out. Next feature I want to show you is quite a cool feature, given the ability to attach PDFs. What this allows you to do is increase the data that the user sees when following complex multiple step processes, like approval workflows or sales processes. In either of those examples, it is useful to have the actual document attached along the way. So in this case, the PDF is attached to the order and automatically sent to the attachment areas of the fact box, giving clarity to the end users. A lot of clients have been asking about this functionality for a while now, about receiving more items than is ordered. It is a rarity, but there is the odd occasion when a supplier will deliver more goods than was actually ordered, and those goods are agreed to be kept. Microsoft has now allowed for this with an over-receipt tolerance and workflow, which is a massive time saver for companies affected by delivery mistakes. And the final enhancement I want to show you for today is the easy print functionality. If there is one thing that has challenged any cloud ERP system, it's the ability to easily print directly to hardware. So far in Business Central, we can preview a report, print to PDF, or send to a printer. This process was quite laborious, as the users would have to follow steps each time, selecting the correct report, previewing said report, selecting the printer, and finally printing. So what has been missing is a way to streamline this process. How has it been done? Well, it starts with a new page called Printer Management. This allows you to store multiple printers and also gives the ability to be able to print to emailed enabled printers, which wasn't the case before. Also, when you go through a report request page where you're prompted for, say, filters to add or specific reports, this used to be a very laborious task, like I say, it was click-through task. These can now be scheduled, or there's an ability to run through an action like post and print automatically, which will print to the printer selected in the management selection, making life simpler. What's to come? So that's it from me today. The next release is the Wave 2020 Wave 2, which will be in autumn 2020. I appreciate I've gone through that quicker than I thought I would. However, I will hand it back over to Elliot. Thank you.
Amazing, thanks, Mark. That was a good one. We've had one question today, which I have answered, and that is, with BC in the cloud, where's the data held and who manages the SQL backups? With the physical server / Azure server, we can manage those ourselves through SQL. It's a really good question. And the data is actually held in Microsoft's cloud. They have their own data centers all over the world. And backups are managed by Microsoft and are taken every 15 minutes and they're held for 30 days. If you ever experience data loss, we can go to Microsoft and there's a 1-day recovery time from Microsoft end. If there's any more questions, pop them in the Q&A. If not, then we have finished 25 minutes early and you can have an early weekend. Thanks, everyone. We'll leave it open for another 5 minutes to see if there is any questions, and if there's not, or if you're watching this back on a rerun, just pop an email to myself or Mark, and we'd be more than happy to answer. Thanks.